pack our bikes, we unload our gear, find out, we go check in into the little station. They got their store and big board of what's going on, and we find out where we're supposed to camp. And you look out, and there's this beautiful field next to water. There's a bridge, a train track, a mountain. It couldn't have been prettier. And then there's a few scattered tents all over. So we decide we're gonna park our stuff down by the water. We unload all our gear because we were told we weren't allowed to park our bikes next to our tent. So we unloaded all our gear, and we head to our area, pick campsite. Three of us have 3 different tents. You know, we got everything set up, and it is windy. So everything's staked down because it is really windy. Now I think the weather must have been 90, 95 degrees, but because it was so windy, you didn't notice how hot it was. This main area, they have the lectures, and then they have all these suggested rides. Now in my head, when it said there were rides, I thought that someone took you out on rides. But I guess apparently what they do is they give you a suggested route so that you can go on a ride with directions, which kind of sucked actually, the directions sucked. But so that people aren't going out in large groups. I guess they had problems when everybody was riding out at once because there were so many motorcycles at once, there was more accidents. So now you can go in your own little groups. The guys decided that we were going to get back on our bikes and we were going to drive to Goldendale, where they have a public observatory with this huge telescope. It is a nighttime thing, so there's no sense going during the day because, you know, the telescope is, you see the stars, which I don't have to do. So we get set up, check everything out, go through all the different courses. I go with my friend Todd, we go watch a lecture on suspension. It was interesting. I really felt more clueless after the lecture was done, but I don't really learn a lot about how my bike works. I learned how the suspension works, but I guess there's not a lot of adjusting it on the KLR myself, so I won't be adjusting the suspension. But we do check out that there's some other classes we might be interested in. We get back on the bikes and we head out to Goldendale, which is another, you know, we have to go back along the way we just came. Now, I found the ride along the gorge very hard. I found it really hard to ride in all that wind, and I was so happy when we arrived. And to find out that we were going to hop back on our bikes and we were going to go the same way that I just had such a hard time with, at first it was very overwhelming, but you know, you go to this rally for the experience, and I didn't want to be the person who didn't experience the rally because I was too scared to ride back in the wind. So it sounded like what we were going to do was fun. So I get back on my bike, and thankfully the way there, we really screwed up the directions. They didn't make a lot of sense to us, but we did eventually get to this great little town, and it wasn't as windy on the way there. So we have some lunch. I picked this place called Beast Family Restaurant, and I'm thinking we're gonna have like burgers and sandwiches. I guess it was Chinese food. It was really good Chinese food, but not what I expected at all. So we head up, the sun's starting to set, so we find directions. We head up to the observatory, and we're thinking we missed whatever happens going on. So I'm standing outside taking pictures because the sun's setting, it's beautiful out, and the guys are like, they come out and they're like, come on, we paid for you, come watch this, come watch this. We go inside, and there's this great ranger, host, and apparently we each had to pay $10 though, because if you don't have a pass, you gotta donate $10. So we go through this whole presentation about how this telescope was built by these 2 men and how they wanted to donate it somewhere where it could be used by the public, and it was all a very interesting story. And then we get to see the telescope in action. It totally felt like Star Wars, you know, because the roof opens up, it starts to spin, and he sets it up, and we get to see Saturn. Now there's a big line of us all lined up, and it's dark, and we got to go up these really tall stairs, but I never in my life thought I would see Saturn as close as I did. That was pretty incredible. Yeah, we saw another, like, a million stars. I didn't see that one as well, but it was worth the ride to go and watch this presentation and look through this huge telescope and see Saturn. So after that we get done, and it's dark out, very, very dark out, and we hop back on our bikes. And first night, I think we got home at 1:45 in the morning or 1:45. Silence. I mean, we go in, we park our bikes, we grab our stuff, and we head to our tents, and it was so quiet. I couldn't believe how quiet it was. Nobody was up. Everybody was tired.